standing here with me. Did it make a difference being there telling the story?
Oh, yeah.
I bet, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you could point it out.
Yeah.
Our division took Sainte-Mère-Église, which may not mean anything, but Sainte-Mère-Église from Normandy, the first town in from the beach. It's about a mile and a half in off the beach. It's a town of, not a big town, not anywhere near as big as Libertyville, but it's just a little town. But that was the first significant town that was taken in France, and the 4th Division took it. But the airborne came down during the night, and did you see the movie The Longest Day?
I haven't
No.
seen that one.
It's okay. It's not the greatest, but the big problem is Red Buttons was in it.
Yeah.
You're familiar with him? He's kind of a comedian.
Oh, an actor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Red Buttons. And they tried to make it funny, and there wasn't anything funny about it. But
Yeah.
anyway, he was a paratrooper with the 82nd Airborne. His name was this guy. And he came down, and when he came down in the parachute got hooked up in the steeple of the church
Oh.
at Sainte-Mère-Église.
Oh, gosh.
And when you go back there,
Yeah.
now, you went back there today, that parachute is still hanging from the steeple.
Still.
They've replaced it.
Yeah. But
they said when we were over there, it will hang there forever.
wow.
We're going to have it hanging there with the shrouds coming down. Then they got a dummy, a mannequin of an American soldier, airborne soldier hanging from the parachute, and he hangs off that.
To recreate.
Remind them of they got liberated and everything.
Wow.
But no, that's hanging there.
Wow.
Still hanging there.
Still hanging there. So the story
2 years ago.
continues.
And they took us all around, and they took us up to, well, you would appreciate this. The two of the guys, I don't have any pictures of them at all here, but two of the guys, well, yeah, I do. There's one. That guy there, this is Doug Phillips, the guy that led the group. And we had 2 historians with us.
Oh.
This guy here, I can't remember his name, but like he probably wrote this. But they're in these 4 things, they're in them all the time, those 2 historians.
Giving the
This
commentary
guy's
and.
PhD in history
Oh, wow.
from I think, University of Georgia. And then we had another PhD in history from some school in Texas.
Yeah.
And they went on the trip with us.
That's
And they were authorities on World War II.
right.
And boy, did they quiz us.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they knew an awful lot about World War II, but they wanted the lowly guy in the trenches to tell them if a lot of the stuff that they had was correct.
Yeah.
So,
Primary source.
I know I talked to this guy here, can't remember his name. But anyway, I talked to him hours on the trip, and he interviews me in this one here.
Disc 3.
The one that's the men of D-Day. Yeah, he interviewed the 3 of us in his individual interview.
Cool.
And he tells all about that, and he's talking about things that Eisenhower did and said and all that.
Yeah.
And he particularly talked to me a little bit because after we landed in the invasion on D+5, the assistant commander of the 4th Division died of a heart attack.
Oh, gosh.
He didn't get wounded or shot or anything. He dropped dead of a heart attack.
Wow.
I think it was D+5.
D+5.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know.
That's not the significant part of it.
What?
You're supposed to say, what was his name?
Yeah, what was his name?
Theodore Roosevelt Jr.
Really? Wow.
Yep. Theodore Roosevelt, the president, was his son.
It was his
He
son?
was older, 68 or 9 or something like that. But he was the assistant division commander in the 4th Division. He was the only, with the landing, excuse me, the landing forces that landed in Normandy. He was the only general officer In other words, rank of general.
Wow.
All the others would be colonels and
Yeah.
majors and all that.
Yeah.
But he pleaded with Eisenhower to let him land with the troops. And Eisenhower said, no, I don't want you to.
Yeah.
And under Eisenhower was Omar Bradley. Omar Bradley ran the invasion.
Huh.
And then our general, oh boy, I'll think of it, the commanding general of the 4th Division. And then the assistant is a commanding general, who's 2-star general, and then the assistant commander, and that was Theodore Roosevelt Jr.
Junior.
The other generals were on the boats out there watching the whole thing.
I see.
But he wanted to go in with the troops.
Oh, and had the heart
So
attack.
he did.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And he passed on in a heart attack. He goes by. Another interesting thing, it's in the history books, is that after the invasion, when we did the St. Louis breakthrough, you remember I told you that was really rough?
Right, yeah.
The commanding general of the 8th Air Force out of England, and they're the ones that did all the bombing over here in preparation for the invasion.
Yeah.
He was always over in London. He never could see the bombing. And they come back and say, oh man, we're really good. We're really successful. Yeah, but I never saw it.
I never saw it.
So when they were going to do the St. Louis breakthrough, they were going to bring over thousands of bombers and bomb the front lines, those German SS troops and Panzer divisions.
Yeah.
They're going to bomb the heck out of them to soften it up. And General McNair says, I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to go up on the front lines with the 4th Division,
Yeah.
and I'm going to watch this, see the effectiveness of the bombing and everything. I really want to see it.
Yeah.
So we did.
So you did.
Yeah, and his lead bombardier made a wrong bomb run, killed him and his entire staff, and about 100 guys from the 4th Division.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's a mistake.
Kind of a mistake. God bless you.
Yeah, probably not.
But you learn that each one of those guys has a duty, and yours is an integral part of it.
Right.
And you can't slough off.
No.
I do a lot of stuff, and I see it in my buddies at VFW. I was going to say not as much American Legion, but I'm going to do that. They, if you're supposed to do something, you're supposed to do it. And, yeah, we do it.
You do
we have
it.
the poppy sales in May. I'm there.
You're there.
Yeah. I do Memorial Day for Libertyville.
Oh,
We have a nice Memorial Day service here
good.
for a little town like this.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm chairman,
That's great.
and I got a committee, and
You put it all together and
I know the mayor
wow.
real well. It has its advantages.
Yeah,
I know the
definitely.
police chief real well. I know the fire and police chief real well.
Well, because you put it all.
And Brad Snyder's our congressman, and I know him.
You met
And,
him.
yeah.
They're all part of that day, I'm sure.
Hmm?
They're all part of organizing that day, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, Brad gave a little talk for us last May. I got to
Oh, nice.
And the big hospitals over here, you're familiar with that? Maybe not, but the biggest Navy. Oh God, I should have brought this. I forgot. I should have brought a couple more things for you.
Oh.
I forgot.
Okay.
The biggest. You may not have heard it this particular way. You know it's there.
Yeah.
The biggest naval training center in the world
Is right
It's
around
6 miles
here.
away.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I had heard that. Because you sometimes in the area see a lot of sailors or people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the largest naval training center in the world.
Yeah.
You know how many people go through that?
Thousands.
About 50 a year. 1,000.
Oh, wow.
45 to 50,000 a year.
They train here. Right.
Everybody who goes in the Navy has to go to
Go right,
Great Lakes.
yeah,
That's
Great
the
Lakes.
only naval training center for the United States Navy.
Right there.
If they go into the Navy, they got to go through Great Lakes.
Oh.
There used to be a training during the war. There was one in Florida and one in San Diego.
Okay.
But those are closed down.
Those are
They
closed.
don't want them on the coast because they're too vulnerable. They
Yeah.
want it in here.
That makes, yeah.
It's the biggest naval training.
Wow.
And about 4 or 5 years ago, we were working bingo one night. Have you got a minute?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We were working bingo one night, and some guy walked in, and I was sitting up there, and a couple other guys up here, and he said, he came walking in, he said, I'm from the Navy base. And we said, welcome. And you want to join or what? He said, no. He said, the Navy's having a birthday party. It's the Navy's birthday, October 9th or whatever it was. And the Navy was, the United States Navy was formed in 1776 or something, 74. And we're having a birthday party for the Navy. 250 years or whatever it was. I don't remember, but anyway, he said we have a birthday party for the Navy over at Great Lakes, and we want your American Legion to send 2 guys, and we're going to get 2 from Lake Forest, 2 from Lake Bluff, 2 from Gurnee, and 5 of them total, 2 from Waukegan. And so the commander, Harry Swanson, turned around to me and he said, you want to go? And I said, yeah. And so he and I went, and then all the other guys went. There were 10 of us. And we went over to Great Lakes for the Navy's birthday. And you didn't have to be Navy. Any matter of fact,
service.
The group that was there was Army, Marines, and Air Force. And I think there was 1 Navy guy. So we got there, and we went over to the reviewing stands, and 4,000 Navy recruits are passing in review.
Wow.
They're in blocks of, there's 10 blocks of 400 a block.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
400 guys, 10 blocks of
10 blocks.
March down the field, way over there, up here, then they make a left turn, come down the field, in front of the reviewing stands, and us 8 lowly guys went down there and stood on the side, and as they come up to you, they're marching down and they, eyes right! They all turn around, and they lower the flag and all that kind of stuff. And then us 8 guys were standing on the sideline, and we took the salute. and each one of them, then you drop the salute. And the next 400 comes by. Eyes right, blah, blah, blah. Salute.
Oh, wow.
And it goes by. We had salute 10 times. The Navy band is out there playing all this stuff and everything. Then the Navy band turns around, goes up the end, and they come down behind them, and then we take the salute a little bit. Got all done.
Wow.
Went back up to the stands after it was all over. And I didn't know about this. This is my first, this is why I wished I'd have brought it. I just didn't remember. I got up in the stands afterwards, and I'm gonna teach you a new thing you don't know about. Got up in the stands afterwards, and the admiral commands the base commander, Great Lakes Navy. The admiral comes up and he's talking to each one of us. Very formal, you know. Goes up to the first guy, where were you? What were you in the service? Shook his hand and blah, blah, blah. Next guy, what did you do? Where were you in the service? Blah, blah, blah. Got down, I think I was next to the last. And just, it was random, no plan. Next to the last, he got down and he said, where were you and what branch of service were you in? I said I was in the Army, artillery, 4th Division. He said, what war were you in? And I said, World War II. He said, did you see any combat? And I said, I was in Europe, all the battles in Europe. And they know the answer. The question was asked. He said, how many battle stars do you have? Just like that. I said, 5. And he said, what battles were you in? I said, well, I landed in Normandy and Battle of the Bulge and St. Louis breakthrough and blah, 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 and all that. He's an older gentleman. Then he goes to nothing. Goes to the next guy and talks to him a couple minutes. And then he comes back down and we're all leaving. No, let me get your right hand available.
Okay.
Yeah. He comes up, he said, thank you very much for coming today. Now this is a silver dollar. He palms his coin in your hand. Every command officer, like the commander of Great Lakes Navy Base, the commander of Fort Bragg, commander of anything, they have a coin. It's about that big around. Beautiful. Us taxpayers buy them, I think. They're brass, usually brass, and they may have holes in them and everything. And they have blue and red and white enamel on them.
Wow.
And this one has the on the coin, it has the headquarters building
Okay.
for Great Lakes Navy Base.
Yeah.
And the headquarters building it's right in the coin,
Yeah.
raised. And on the outside of the coin, it says Naval Training Center, Great Lakes, Illinois. Turn it over, and it says, presented to you by the commanding officer.
Oh. And you.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. The way you did it too.
Nobody got one?
Just you.
Just me.
Just you. Yeah.
I asked I asked his assistant, you'll like this better.
Yeah.
I asked his assistant, who was right there, I said, how come I'm the only one that got it? And she said, I guess.
You 5 stars.
5 battle stars that did it.
Yeah.
He said he usually only carries 1. And he said he might get up in the morning and put 2 in his pocket, but he normally just puts 1 in his pocket.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to give it out during the day, he will. If not, he goes home with it in his pocket.
Goes
and
home
brings
with it.
tomorrow. But he said, you did it today. And I said, wow, I'm really
Yeah.
thankful.
That's quite
Anyway,
a story.
You'll like this.
Yeah.
His assistant was a captain in the Navy. That's 4 stripes.
Mm-hmm.
The next promotion after captain is admiral. So this person is a captain.
Yeah.
It's a lady.
Oh.
Her name is Carolyn Olinger. And she's just about as big as you. She's a pretty little gal. 44, 5, 6. And you know what her title was?
What?
Commander, Recruit Training, the United States Navy.
Oh my gosh.
The whole Navy.
The whole Navy.
She's the commander.
She's the commander.
She's since left. She got transferred someplace else, I think.
Wow.
There's a guy over there doing it now. But anyway, I got coined. And after I got interviewed on Normandy, that's why I wished I'd have brought him. I just totally forgot it.
Oh.
After I got interviewed in Normandy on the beach over there,
Yeah.
there were some Army guys all standing there watching the interview.
Yeah.
And I don't know, when in the Army, they wear their rank up here.
Yeah.
Usually their rank's up there.
Right.
And sometimes they wear it elsewhere. But now, if they wear those fatigues, with the camouflage uniforms,
Okay.
the rank is here,
Oh.
right here.
Right.
It hangs out, I think they hook it out with a Velcro, but the
Yeah.
rank just hangs down here, right here. You can pull it off if you want. But, and I saw him, and there was a guy over there with captain bars while I was being interviewed
Yeah.
for this. And then I looked over a couple minutes later. The interview was an hour and a half,
Oh.
so it's a long time. My wife was
Yeah.
there watching.
Yeah.
And it started out with about 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20. There was about 60 when it got done.
Oh, wow.
And there was 2 guys there keeping him from getting behind him because they wanted the view of the beach.
Yeah.
The water coming in and everything.
Oh,
so they
yeah.
weren't letting him go over there. So anyway, I looked over. We're well into the interview, about an hour, and I looked over, and there's this other guy standing over there who just came.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was behind, and he kind of moved up in
Yeah.
front. I looked over at him. Bong, 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 bong. Stars.
Stars.
Yeah, and I said, oh, my God. A general.
A general.
Yeah,
Wow.
we were, and my only rank when I was in the Army, we respected generals.
Yeah.
And this is the general. And it got all done, and he came over to me after it was over. I was the only one they were interviewing, and the other guys were getting interviewed elsewhere. And he came over and he shook my hand, and he said, that was a good interview. He said, I had a lot of questions about D-Day and the first few days and taking Cherbourg and all that stuff. And he said, you pretty much answered them. He said, although I do have a couple more. And I said, if I can. So he asked me a couple more questions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I answered those. He said, thank you very much. He said, good luck to you. Have a good trip.
Yeah.
He went like that.
Right.
And he tipped my hand over and coined me. You know what it says?
What does it say?
Commander, U.S. Army, Europe.
Wow.
He was the commanding officer
Officer
of all of Europe.
Of all of Europe.
He was based out of some town in Stuttgart, Germany or someplace.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was the big shot that ran all ones there.
Yeah.
And so I...
So is that a tradition within the Army with generals and commanders where when you meet somebody who has truly served, you give your coin if it's an extreme case where they deserve it. I never knew that.
No, most people don't.
Wow.
But they don't do a lot of it.
Yeah, so it's
But-
such an honor that you
Yeah.
got that.
But anybody in the coin, I'm quick to tell anybody, the coin does not represent, in other words, the admiral
Mm-hmm.
over at the Navy base, the coin does not represent him.
Mm-hmm.
It represents the job he holds.
I see.
It's the command, the only command, if his assistant wouldn't have him, because he's not the commander.
Yeah.
It's a command thing.
I see.
So, and the command coin represents the command.
The command.
So the next person comes in as commander of the Great Lakes Navy Base, he gets that coin.
He gets that coin. Okay.
And this guy doesn't have it anymore.
Oh, so it's a
Because it
person in the
represents-
position.
It represents the command of the Navy Base.
The command of the Navy base.
You know who has a coin?
Who?
You could probably guess.
Um,
I don't have it. I wish I did. I don't know how to get it. But
is it
he's a commander.
of the Army or Navy today?
Huh? Name is Obama.
I was just gonna
He
say
has a coin.
because he's the commander in
He's
chief of the
commander
Army.
of the Armed Forces.
Oh yeah.
It's a coin. I've seen a picture of it. It's got the presidential eagle, you know, the United
Yeah.
States eagle on it and
Yeah.
everything, with the holding the spears
Yeah.
and all that. And you turn it over, and it says, presented to you by the President of the United States.
So when he meets somebody like you, he can do that too. Then,
If he wants to.
if he wants to, yeah.
Yeah. Now, you may not have known it, and the only reason I know is because somebody told me, is that you did see him use it one time. You remember several years ago, I think it was 2009, when the Muslim nut down in Texas killed those 11 guys down
Oh
there?
yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
And Obama went down to the funeral, and they had 11 wooden pedestals
Uh huh.
about this high.
Yeah.
11 of them in a row, wooden pedestals about that high.
Yeah.
And then on top of each pedestal, they had a picture of each individual that was killed.
Yeah.
It was on TV.
Yeah.
And I know most of my neighbors and a whole bunch of other people, they all saw it, and I'm not saying I picked up on it.
Yeah.
The only one who picked up on it, but I guess I was, but
Yeah.
only because I knew about the coin.
Right.
And Obama stood there, and he went up to him. It was on the news that night. And Obama went up to the thing, and he stood there like this. What he was saying, I don't know, but supposedly praying.
Yeah.
He gets up there like that, and then he went like that. And he went back down, go to the next one. Like that. Put something on each of those pedals.
Oh, it's
That
the.
was his coin.
That was his coin.
He
Yeah.
was coining each one of those.
Oh.
And not anything that they would knight, but with the family, after it was all over, go up and get that coin.
I'm
That's
sure.
presented by the President of the United States.
States. Yeah. Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah. And